What's good? Welcome to the Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. It's your boy, The Dunn, with my co-host, The King. What's good, man?
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? How you doing today, Don?
Man, look, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I did my reaction show after the game. I had 40 Saints fans coming in there trolling and stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, y'all can enjoy y'all win now. But when the playoff time comes, just know you can lay your head on my shoulder and cry. Never mind, I'm playing with y'all. Don't come crying to me.
You should have told me.
I'm just gonna be there laughing.
Thanks for you, though.
Exactly. But we got some guests on tonight. We're going to be talking about the former head coaches for the Atlanta Falcons, Dan Quinn and Mike Smith. Why did they fail? I think this is a good topic because some people are left with a bad taste in their mouth from those two guys, and they feel like we should move a new direction, quote unquote. So we're going to talk about that topic today. But let me go ahead and introduce our guest, Robert Taylor from the Falcons Flight Podcast. What's good, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Just looking forward to next year. That's about all I got, man. Just looking forward to next year.
I'm not looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to this off season. That's what's going to parallel us to next year if we're going to be successful or not. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, but I know you got a show to get into, but the one thing that after we were talking the other night that stuck out in my brain is how did we let Matt LaFleur get out of town?
Oh, man, we'll talk about that. we'll look, man. It's all about the front office, man. That's why we fired some people that we need to fire, and this is where we at now. You know, I talked to somebody yesterday about about the situation that we in now, and they understand, you know. But appreciate you coming on, man. We also got two. No problem, man. We also got two hometown supporters with us. We got LT and Rashad. What's good with y'all?
Oh man, doing pretty good, man. Happy to be here, and let's talk some Falcons football. Looking forward to the transition, man. Because I can tell you right now, we definitely need a lot of upgrades for this team, especially the front office.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. All right. So, y'all already know what to do. If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that like button. Share this content out with Atlanta sports fanatics. And hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the notes for the show and what happened this week.
All right. So this weekend was Georgia Southern versus Florida Atlantic. Georgia Southern lost. Georgia Southern won. 20-3 over Florida Atlantic. Very defensive game. Defense played well, holding them to 2 out of 10 on third down and 0 for 3 on fourth down. But other than the win, they got some good news. Their offensive line coach, Ron Hutton, overcomes cancer. That is if you haven't read that story, y'all need to go read that story. The cancer kind of helped save his life. So I want y'all to go read that story if y'all haven't. Very good story. UGA versus Vanderbilt was postponed. I know the UGA fans are mad, but I'm not. Mark Webb was selected to the 2021 Reese's Senior Bowl. And Bulldogs have won the last 3 meetings against Vandy, so they should beat Vandy. It shouldn't be no problem to walk in there and beat Vandy whenever the day comes. It's supposed to be postponed to the 19th, but we'll see. COVID. UGA has faced Vandy 80 times, and UGA leads series 58-20 with 2 ties. Georgia Tech went and played NC State, and they lost. Of course they did. NC State won 23-13. Georgia Tech reached the red zone 5 times and only converted once. Sounds like the Atlanta Falcons.
Man, look who got on the show.
Oh my God.
This dude got me spitting in the bag like I'm some scrub or something, bro. I'm Julio Jones in this meeting. I'm Julio Jones.
Don't come on here clowning now. I can't see you, man.
On, bro.
Man, my laptop only so big, man. I had to scroll down to find you.
I feel like dirt cutter right now. I feel like absolute crap. You know what I'm saying? Absolute crap.
All right, y'all. Let's get back to the topic at hand, man.
All right, back to the notes. NC State won against Georgia Tech 23-13. Like I said, they only converted one time in the red zone. They reached it 5 times. Tech and State we talked about this in the last episode. They met 30 times. Now it's 31, and it's not looking good for Tech. 20-10. Tech has won the last 3 meetings. That doesn't mean nothing now because now State has won the 4th meeting. The 3-star linebacker Gavin Barthel decommitted from Tech. Reasoning he didn't give one, but they got Nick Pendley, an offensive lineman, who will be transferring from Mississippi State. So that's always good on their part. Georgia State,
you gotta win. If you don't win, the player's going to decommit. That's just how it is. So
yeah, that goes on with anything though. That's anything. You gotta win. If you're not winning, then your team sucks. Just like the
Falcons. Georgia Tech's not going to be relevant until Kirby Smart leaves Georgia, and then they shut down football operations over there in Athens, man.
What's up, bro?
They're probably going to start getting some better players now that they abandoned that, the option. They might get some better quarterbacks and some better receivers because you didn't want to go play wide receiver in the option at Tech. You're not going to get the ball.
Yeah, that's like playing wide receiver in Baltimore. You ain't gonna get the ball.
Here's my thing. Go ahead.
You can go ahead. I'll just finish with the notes after you finish.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like with Tech, we'll see what happened next year, man. It's just this year with COVID, a lot of teams that we thought were going to be good are just not performing well. I'm not going to make excuses with my Michigan Wolverines, but hey, if we would have had a good spring, we would have played a little better. But I feel like Michigan ain't going to do anything until they get rid of Jim Harbaugh. That's just my opinion.
He's gone after this season. There's no way to keep him.
They need to fire. They need to fire him as soon as the end of the game this Saturday against Ohio State because I don't see us winning Ohio State. We could even beat Penn State.
All right. Georgia State had a bye week. Last victory was against Southern. They beat them. Everybody know about that. Baseball, Braves. They claimed the infielder Jack Mayfield off waivers from the Astros. Lefty Kyler Muller was also selected to the 40-man roster. So that's always good to add pitching to that rotation. And Mike Soroka is throwing again. Can we get 2 claps for Mike Soroka throwing again?
Yeah.
Yes.
They gonna need that man. Infielder John right-handed reliever, Luke Jackson, and left-handed reliever Grant Dayton gets 1-year deal. So more pitching. We need pitching. Pitching's always gonna win. Brian Snicker, manager of the year, but wasn't that a given? What y'all think?
He got us to the NLCS. You got to think about this, okay? I understand a lot of Braves fans upset because of the way we lost in that fashion. We was up 3-1. I get it, but at the same time, if you go all the way back to like the early 2000s, we ain't had the Braves ever advance. We could have went to the World Series, but we didn't. But here's my take. Here's my take. Now I understand why they gave it to Brian Snick. In my opinion, I feel like the Tampa Bay coach should have got it.
Wow.
Because if you look at how much money they spend on players, all right, I think they was ranked 31st in like cap. Like they had a ton of money. And for them to go out there and perform with the players they had and make the World Series, I feel like he should have got the manager of the year.
All right, so I'll jump in here. I think the reason Snicker did get it and he should have got it is because go back in history and try to remember or find the last time a major league team in an NLCS or an ALCS had a bullpen game. They overachieved all season, and he took the world champion Dodgers to the brink. 7 games with a patchwork pitching staff. Just imagine if he would have had Soroka in there and some other guys. I mean, that's the only thing that held us back. We had the bullpen dialed in.
Yeah.
Man, one of the best hitting years the Braves have ever seen. We just didn't have the starting pitching. If we had one more quality starter, the Braves are in the World Series.
Yeah, pretty much. It only took one game, but we all knew if they would have lost that game 5, it was a wrap. So we kind of was all in that mode of, all right, if they lose this, they're gonna come back and win.
Yeah, I said this too back then. I said, well, if we lose game 5, that's a wrap. That's it. Yeah. We're not winning game 6 or 7. Yeah, you just couldn't.
It wasn't. MLS, United, CONCACAF.
Yeah, they getting ready. Yeah, they still getting ready for that. But Gabriel Hines, the Argentine coach, he is very close in signing a deal to become our manager for the club. I know this is a popular name. A lot of people won't. He's real good, but we'll see if he can translate that into MLS style. He's very similar. They say his coaching style is very similar to Tata Martino. So
yes,
that's good. I like that, but I also like the guy Patrick. He used to be the manager for New York City FC, and he's currently, I think, coaching the Nice team out there in France. But Gabriel Hines, I believe they're gonna make a deal with this man hopefully by the end of the week. So, all right, NBA.
On to the Hawks. Hawks season begins December 23rd against Chicago Bulls. They should win that game. Hawks home opener December 28th against Detroit Pistons. They should win that game. Hawks got a new floor. If you haven't seen it, it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook. You have to see it. It's dope. All these players I'm about to name.
But hold on, I want to talk about this, and I didn't mean to cut you off. But you know what? My thing is, man, I feel like MLK. You mentioned the MLK court, and I did a rant on this Friday. How in the world you have a triple header on Martin Luther King Day, and you do not have the Hawks playing in one of those games? Explain to me NBA TNT. Explain to me NBA. Somebody explain to me why.
Can I do that? Who's playing?
I know the Lakers playing. I get it.
Yeah, that middle finger is so far up his behind. That's the reason why. Let's be honest. All right, it's so far up his behind. They can't even be truthful. They can't even be truthful.
I understand I understand that they want to. The Lakers want. Everybody want to see the Lakers. Everybody want to see Celtics.
It ain't about LeBron. It's about MLK Day. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
How can you not have Atlanta in that? He is from Atlanta. It's really that simple.
He's born and raised in Atlanta. Like he was born and raised in Atlanta. Like doggone it. Like y'all could have had the game. If y'all want the Lakers in there, y'all should have had the Lakers come to Atlanta and play the Hawks that day. Boom. You could have best of both worlds. Like they could be the doggone scheduler for the doggone NBA.
But you have to.
It's about the rating, man.
Yeah, you have to understand that the Hawks wasn't good last year. Nobody want to see them. Nobody wants to see them on TV.
I get it.
That's why they only got one televised game out of the whole season. One televised game.
But you got to think about it though. We upgraded the roster. Okay, we upgraded the roster. I know, but we were upgraded the roster. We came out with the City Edition MLK jersey.
Somebody explain why New Orleans then. Somebody please explain that to me then.
They got Zion.
We got Trey. Zion ain't did nothing. What has Zion done?
But Zion is box office. Zion has been box office.
Trey putting up 50 points. What has Zion done?
Zion was box office at Duke. Duke was
box office. Why? Because he can dunk?
Hey, who knows?
I mean, you might as well be John Smith.
Hey, who knows why? But that's why they got Zion.
People are still doubting Trae Young's ability and his star power, though, and I don't know why. He's a winner. That's all he's ever done is win.
Exactly.
I don't know why they're still doing that. He gets no respect.
I've heard some crazy things about him. He's terrible defensively and stuff, and I tell him like, okay, I mean,
they ain't gonna play no dang defense.
Only if Kobe would have been alive, man, to work on Trae Young's defense, man. I'm just gonna rest my case on that. But
name one point guard that's good offensively that plays.
I know, Travis, you said that too, but I'm just saying as well, man.
There's not one point guard in the NBA that's good offensively that is good on defense. It just doesn't happen.
And they didn't draft Trae Young for his defense. They drafted him for his
points, to score points.
All right. Let me say this. Let me ask y'all this question. Would if you put the Hawks, and I understand the whole point that you got MLK on Martin Luther King Day, a triple header, but let's just take the emotions out. Let's think business wise. Would the Hawks generate any type of TV revenue?
No.
Of course they will. You got Trae Young. Trae Young is an absolute baller.
He's not generating TV.
Don't disrespect Trae like that.
I didn't disrespect.
That's disrespectful.
Is he gonna generate? I didn't say not once that he wasn't a star. I said he was not going to generate revenue. Let me ask you this. Take the emotions out real quick.
Paid to watch Trae Young. That's what a star is. That's what box office is. You pay to watch a guy.
But
people pay to watch him.
That's only people in Atlanta.
No, that's not true. Mamacita, guess who her favorite player was? Mamacita, okay? Yeah, that was her favorite player. So don't tell me that he doesn't qualify as a quote unquote box office. He has the younger generation. That's what it's all about.
You do realize that her father is one of the greatest basketball minds that ever graced this earth, right?
Trae is very much in touch with the younger generation that we're talking about. Box office. That's essentially what you're trying to appeal to the younger crowd.
So you really think that? So you think that people are gonna say, "Oh, snap! Let's watch the Hawks game. Let's watch the Hawks over the Lakers."
Yes, really to see Trae Young, of course. They doing it to Zion.
Zion has been box office since college. He's been box office.
Zion is trash. That team is trash.
Zion has been good since, well, not good. He's been box office since high school. He's been breaking YouTube records since high school.
And Trae hasn't. And Trae hasn't. When? Well, hold on.
All right, we're gonna. All right, y'all. Look, y'all got a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna move on to another topic.
Come on,
there's more kids in Atlanta wearing Pelicans and Lakers jerseys than there are Hawks jerseys. I'd bet money on that.
Yeah, that's true. That's we're not arguing that. Yeah. That's true. But the problem, but guess what? That's going to change soon. That's going to change soon.
Man, I got my season tickets. I'm ready. They're going to score so many damn points. It's going to be.
How many tickets you got?
I got 4 seats to every game.
All right, man. I'm gonna holler at you after this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Man, I've been watching.
I'm kind of confused because I understand the Hawks have had some good seasons prior to Trae Young being here. But if I recall, and I know me and Mike had this conversation, you tell me that you hate the fact sometimes when the Lakers came to LA because it seemed like it was Staples Center.
What did that got to do with Trae? What did that got to do with Trae?
Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with Trae. It got a lot to do with the Lakers. It's not about Trae. It's about the Lakers brand versus Trae Young.
All right, look. All right, pause. I'm gonna take the marketing and box office out of this. The ML Martin Luther King Day is about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I don't care about anything else, okay? About box office and all that. Here's the thing. The man was born in Atlanta, Georgia, Auburn Avenue, all right? Buried in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, a lot of people every year, Martin Luther King Day, come to Atlanta to go. That the thing is, Atlanta during Martin Luther King Day, Atlanta is packed with tourists. That would have been a good time for the NBA to capitalize off that. After people go see the grave of the tomb of Martin Luther King, guess what? Hey, let's go downtown to State Farm Arena and go watch the game. So they're wearing the Hawks wearing the MLK jerseys. The doggone court is MLK. Doggone the floor is MLK. You have you could bring in Martin Luther King III, have him do a little speech before the pregame or whatever. Like, come on now. Like, all it's called that to me that would have been the best marketing thing for the NBA. But you know, I get what y'all saying.
I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna go.
You feel like it because of the simple fact that it will help
that because you got a Lakers jersey on and you've been a Lakers fan. Let's be real. Stop.
It's not don't come on, bro. Even when we were sorry, we were still getting TV. We were still getting TV on get played on. We were playing national televised games.
Then you deserve it. Then you deserve it.
But we didn't. We was trash. We had Kendall Marshall as a starting point guard. The point I'm making is it's the Lakers. It's the brand. Lakers. That is the brand.
All right, so let's get to another topic, man.
The players I'm about to name. I got you, Don. Players I'm about to name all will be evaluated again on December 11th. Forward center Big O MRI on the 20th. He had inflammation in his left foot. Tony Snell MRI on the 20th. He had inflammation in his cobit bone in his right foot. And Chris Dunn MRI the 24th. He had cartilage problems in his right knee. Like I said, all of them will be evaluated on December 11th. All right, Don, you can take over for the Falcon notes.
All right, so today we played the Saints. We lost the game 21-16. Matt Ryan went for 19 out of 39, 273 yards, 1 touchdown. Ito Smith had 8 carries for 36 yards. Brian Hill 5 carries for 18 yards. So and we didn't run the ball that much today. Like typical Dirt Cutters offense. Calvin Ridley, 5 receptions for 108 yards. Julio Jones, 6 receptions for 94 yards. Russell Gage, 4 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown. Total yards today, Falcons got 332. Saints got 424. So, I said the defense, it looked like it played better, but still, we still played a lot of cover 3, and that's one of the reasons why, the score what it was. Passing yards, 262 for the Falcons. For the Saints, 217. And rushing yards, Falcons, 70 yards. Saints, 207 yards. That's the thing. If you can't stop the run, you're not going to win. You're not going – it's hard to win a game like that if you can't stop the run because you don't control the clock. You don't control the tempo of the game. And
Falcons didn't convert on 3rd down either today, man. They were terrible.
We did one time, and that was when Ito Smith ran the ball for first down, but that was like an element of surprise play right there. The Saints didn't see that coming. So I get it. Time of possession, Saints had the ball 36 minutes and 54 seconds. We had the ball 23 minutes and 6 seconds. So that's what happened. When you don't control the tempo of the game, you don't control the clock, you don't win. Penalties, Saints had 10 penalties, we had 1. Now, I'm going to pose this question to y'all. How was Dirt Cutter's play calling today? I already said it was trash.
Man. I think I heard somebody. I think if he doesn't give the ball to Gurley, what was it, 3rd and 7 late in the game? Gurley lost about 7 yards.
That was 32.
I didn't like it. 32?
Yeah.
I thought it was the wrong play.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I thought it was the wrong play.
I'm glad you brought that play up because somebody on social media, Twitter to be exact, they took upon themselves to do a steal shot. Now, this is why we don't like steal shots when it comes to football and anything like that. You thinking, because the person thinking it was like a RPO play, to me, it was clearly a zone run. Like, Matt did not hesitate not at all of holding it or anything. He clearly gave the ball to Gurley, and Hurst was supposed to be kicking out the end or the linebacker, but I think he kind of missed on it. But to me, I felt like the Falcons felt on situational football. Gurley has not been touching the ball most of the game. Why would you put him in that situation and give him the ball? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But I don't know.
In the defense of Gurley in that situation, if there's not a zone play and they just run a dive, I can understand it. But for it to be a zone play, you can't do that. Not that late in the game. They expecting you to run the ball because you just did it and it didn't go nowhere. So overall, his play calling was horrible. But then they started moving the ball down the field when they started doing the hurry up. Once they started doing the hurry up, they started moving the ball, and then they started huddling. And then they
well, dang, I could have sworn like Matt Ryan like overall jumps to 99 when he runs no huddle, but we don't run that these days. But
yeah, it always no huddle. Matt Ryan is amazing.
Yeah,
I don't think Dirk Cutter belongs in the NFL. Period, man. I think his play call is outdated. It's stale. He's unimaginative. He doesn't adjust. He's kind of like, some of those old Georgia OCs, they would just stick with the game plan. And you could see it wasn't working, and they just kept running the same old shit out there. And it's like, stop, man. You got to do something different. You got to put a new wrinkle in there. Just unimaginative, man.
There's just no creativity. No creativity.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't adjust during the game. It's just like copy paste. The play calling that he did today is the same thing he did a couple of weeks ago against the Saints.
Yeah,
he's been doing it the last 3 weeks.
I'm like, bro, like I'm not even an offensive minded person, but like, dang, I can come up with a better game plan than that.
It's always been about his ability to be creative. Doesn't every coach in the NFL knows X's and O's? There's not a position player in the league that doesn't know X's and O's. It's all about creativity and maximizing players' talent. That's what the NFL has always been about. Dirk Cutter does not care. The Atlanta Falcons, even your boy Raheem the Dream, they don't care about maximizing. They don't care about maximizing the player's ability. When you focus on your scheme more than you focus on the player's abilities, this is exactly what you do. This is what the Atlanta Falcons. It's all about ego. I care more about my scheme and making my scheme work rather than actually maximizing. This is the reason why I've always said that I was the Vic Beasley's #1 supporter, because we see the exact same stuff with this Falcons coach.
Like Dante Fowler, we talked about this with Dante Fowler. Like, I had the Buffalo Bills expert writer on earlier today. He pretty much said, why did y'all bring in Dante Fowler to give y'all the same production as Vic Beasley? Y'all should have just kept Vic Beasley. Saved a little bit more money. I kind of agree with him, but, at the same time, like, you see, players cannot escape bad coaching. Coaching at all. Like, this is the problem that we've been having. And this is where we're going to segue to the last two nut jobs we had here as head coaches.
Yeah, because you look at Dante Fowler's cousin, just like Vic Beasley. Oh, I can fix him. But Dante Fowler also had the best defensive tackle I've ever seen play on his team. So you can't.
And Wade Phillips as a defensive coordinator.
Exactly. That is true. And I'm no shade to Grady Jarrett, but he's not Aaron Donald. So you're not going to get the same production from a Dante Fowler that you would get when he was in Los Angeles. So,
yeah, I agree. I've always felt that, and I know I've said this with Don in private conversations. To me, your coaching can make or break your football team, because to me, coaching matters in the NFL, man. If you don't have coaches that don't put you in the right position to be successful, you're not going to win. I've said this for years when it comes to our football team, man. We've always had coaches like Mike Smith or Dan Quinn, or when you look at the front office for that matter, if we don't make the necessary moves to make sure that this team stays consistent, and that has been the issue for the Atlanta Falcons, is that we always shoot ourselves in the foot. Like, we feel like we can just sit around and cut corners, and that's not how you become successful in the NFL.
Sean, can I say this?
Yeah.
real quick? And see, these are like, you're absolutely right by that. And this is the reason why, like, at some point we have to bring in coaches that doesn't necessarily have an ego. It's all about ego. What the type of coaches that we have. He's not gonna, you look at Kyle Shanahan. The reason why Kyle Shanahan has lost 2 Super Bowls because of his ego. He's going to run what he wants. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He thinks he's smarter than every other coach in the NFL. He's going to get, and that's the same thing with the Falcons. The Falcons coaches, we have Julio, we have Matt Ryan, we are going to score. It ain't nothing you can do. You can run this formation, you can blitz, you can do all this. In Dirk Cutter's mind, and Raheem and Dan Quinn mind, they feel as though we are going to score. And then you can't win in the NFL.
You can't
Every
think like that.
team in the NFL has great players. These players are very good players. They're in the NFL for a reason. So
they got great defensive coordinators to stop a good offense. They got great defensive coordinators that stay up all night and figure that shit out. And
gotta get the ego. You gotta get the ego out of it. The Falcons coaches, they're so egotistical. It's absolutely pathetic, man.
I mean, I'll tell you one guy I like a lot, and I don't know. I think everybody's gone. I know everybody's gone. I really like what Jeff Ulbricht's done, though, with that defense.
Yeah,
Jeff defensive numbers since he took over. And he's a no-nonsense guy. He's a hey, man, let's not do anything fancy. Let's keep it simple, and let's just get after the quarterback and try to get that football.
I always like linebacker coaches, because they know, by because linebackers, you pretty much the quarterback for the D line needs to do. They know what the secondary needs to do as well. So, but as far as the egos go, man, we talking about Dirk Cutter and offense and stuff. I said this yesterday on my show, on the Don's Favor, about bringing in a guy like Dino Babers from Syracuse to be our OC. I think he'll be good, and then I don't think he'll be trying to go anywhere. Get this man a shot.
I'm reading that this dude coming down here, he was talking about FILA. Let me put something out there about FILA. And I've said this to people on social media, but people said I was a hater when I made the comment. But I was like, when Jacksonville in 17 was Saxonville, do anybody recall Dante Fowler ever sticking out on your TV screen doing that run?
Nope.
Because I don't.
He had like 6 sacks that year.
But did he really stick out though?
No, I was saying.
Like, did you?
When you have guys like, I mean, Saxonville. When you have guys like Marcel Darris, Calais Campbell, when you had guys like Tevin Smith on your team, that was putting up their fair share of production on that team.
And then you had that secondary was monster. Like between Miles Jack, OJ Abuye, and Jalen Ramsey. Like I said, to me at that time, Dante Fowler did not stick out on your TV screen. He just did it. He might have made some plays here and there, but you'd be like, it was more so who you were playing beside that helped you make those plays than actually, snap, Dante Fowler went out there and just did a monster job of handling business. It wasn't never like that, which that what made me not really like the signing, because I was like, you basically getting Big Beasley, just probably a better rush defender. And
you know what? I said that as well when we had the chat, when we had a guy by the name of Eric Taylor, and he was trying to argue with me about Dante Fowler. Well, he's bigger than Dante Fowler. Okay, and that don't mean anything. I know how Dante Fowler. I know how he plays. It's very similar to Vic Beasley. Vic Beasley had to have a casting role to scheme to get sacked, just like that 2016 season. We had the doggone Rashid Hageman. We had Jonathan Babineau, those 2 big giants of men to eat up blocks for Vic Beasley to get sacks. And then you had Dwight Freeney on there as well. So, we don't have those type of. Yeah, we got great as Jared. That's it. But Tyler Davis is good. But I'm not finna sit here and compare Tyler Davis to Babs. Babs was good.
Memes though.
Nah, definitely ain't doing that.
You got to go all the way back to John Abraham for the last time the Falcons had a good guy that could get after the quarterback.
And that was only one person. Like, when we gonna get some bookends to actually give us production?
And the thing with Vic now, everybody is, and the reason why he's not in Atlanta or anywhere else for that matter is everybody doubts his football heart now. They don't even think he really wants to be playing anymore. That's the biggest thing with Vic Beasley is they're doubting his football heart.
Mm-hmm. Please don't bring up heart. Please don't bring up heart.
One thing about Tech, man, that man had heart, man.
Boy, I'm about to leave this live.
All right.
I'll do that.
For someone, I mean, and when we talk about Mr. Tack McKinley, for someone, for like,
you didn't pronounce his name right. You didn't pronounce it. It's Tweety Bird, okay? Not Tack. Tweety Bird.
Don't disrespect Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird, he can beat up on Sylvester. I don't think Tack can do the same thing.
Okay. Tweety Bird, I'll just say that. But it's just crazy to me how when I go back to the front office and the acquisitions they've made, such as Tweety Bird, to give up a first, a third, and a seventh for Tweety Bird, and you get nothing out of him. Yes, sure, he had the injuries, but just to talk so much crap on social media and you still don't.
Oh, you are absolutely wrong. We got a lot out of him. We got pressure rates. Boy, you gotta love them pressure rates, boy. Them pressure rates was phenomenal. The pressure rates was phenomenal.
So okay.
I ain't like Vic Beasley since he ain't cut his hair.
Yeah, talking all that noise last year, talking about if I don't get 10 sacks, I'm gonna cut my hair. Came up, man. Next year still got dreads. Man,
word is his bond.
Tack didn't help himself from talking all that trash on social media. Then after he left Atlanta, he went to 3 different teams in 1 week.
He ain't help his case when he said he was getting 3 sacks easy, and then Minnesota dragged him for it.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings Twitter account dragged him for it.
Mm-hmm. You know what Tack and Vic both are right now, don't you?
Yeah, Oakland. Well, Las Vegas. Yeah.
The Raiders, yeah. Both playing for the Raiders now. I don't know if Tack passes physically. He's playing.
Yeah, he's on IR for the rest of the year. He ain't playing.
John Gruden got faith in him, apparently.
All right, so let's get to the focal point of the show. All right, so we're here to talk about Dan Quinn and Mike Smith. We got 16 people in the chat right now. I want you guys to tell me who was the better coach. Who did you prefer, Mike Smith or Dan Quinn? I'm gonna start with you. The guest. Go ahead, man.
Mike Smith, and I'll tell you this because Dan Quinn's overall record was 43-42. Smith's overall record was 66-46.
Yep, you're right.
Let's see. Let's go here. I got something pulled up. 2008, Smith's first year. Matt Ryan is a rookie. 11-5. Then he goes 9-7, 13-3, 10-6, 13-3. Atlanta didn't have 2 back-to-back winning seasons until he came to town. And I scratched my head a little bit because the guy had 5 winning seasons in a row. Then he had a 4-12 and a 6-10, and they ran him out of town. Yeah. I got to stick up for him a little bit. I think he's still the all-time winningest coach in Falcons history.
Yeah,
he kind of kick-started, kind of Atlanta's rise to prominence. I think Mike got a bad rap. He allowed. I think there was too much noise from the fan base, and I love Atlanta football and I love our fans, but sometimes they think too much with their heart and get too emotional. And 1 week, that they're all, they love everybody. Then the next week, man, they suck. Dan, I don't know what happened with Dan. I think as much as the players won't say it, I think he lost the locker room. But yeah, Mike Smith. I mean, look at it. Let's see. They lost to the Arizona Cardinals in the play. So he had 1, 2, 3, 4 playoff appearances. How many Dan have? 2.
That's it.
So and the record alone, just the record alone, 66-46 and 43-42. Mike Smith all day in my book.
All right, Rashad. Go ahead, King. My bad.
Yeah, one of those seasons they had. He lost Julio, and he had Harry Douglas as the best target. So that's one of those things where it's like, and I think that was one of his bad seasons where you didn't really have your offense or your whole offense there.
Yeah, offense.
Well,
Julio was gone for the year. Roddy White was in and out. Tony kind of was like in and out in a sense. And I mean, Matt was throwing TD passes to Darius Johnson. Where he at now, I don't know. He might be working at H.H. Gregg for all we know. I mean, just where we was at in 2013.
Man, look, in the offensive line that year was trash too. But even in 2014, it was a losing season. But the last game of the season, we had a chance to sneak in the playoffs and win the NFC South, and we just didn't.
I think the Panthers beat us 34-3 or something like that.
Yeah,
it was bad.
It was horrible. It was horrible. All right, Rashad, Mike Smith, Dan Quinn. Which one?
I could say, in my personal opinion, I'd say Mike Smith, because I feel like during his tenure we had, 5 winning seasons. But when it also came to the playoffs, my issue with Mike, Smithy, my issue with him was the lack of adjustments. But I also felt like he was dealt a bad hand by Thomas Dimitroff and some of the acquisitions during his tenure. I go on and on. Like, there was times where we let go of certain players that had a certain edge to them. Like when we let go of Harvey Dahl on the offensive line, because I felt like when we had him on that line at that time, the offensive line had an edge to him. It was at the point where some, players on defense from other teams within the NFL said that, like, damn, Atlanta's offensive line is dirty. And I felt like when we lost him and other guys that were stalwarts on that offensive line left, I feel like I'm sorry. I pretty much felt like his undoing was pretty much by the general manager, just letting go of certain people. And plus, a lot of people love to leave out when he had that heart condition back in 2011. I felt like when he had that, that's when you started seeing Mike Smith, lose a little bit of his edge. And I felt like that in a lot of the acquisitions that were made, before his time was done here in Atlanta, I felt like that was his undoing, to tell you the truth.
The Travis?
Definitely would say Mike Smith. I think I would say that us find him now, when I look back at it, it was kind of prematurely. The biggest problem about Smitty, though, it was like the losses in the playoffs. Not being able to manage a game, losing certain games the way he did. I mean, and don't get me wrong, we probably could have gave him another year, but we can't lie. 2014 was a very up and down year, and then having a loss against Detroit when you was up 21-0 at halftime, and then you ultimately lost the game 22-21. That was a bad look. I mean, it was, like I said, it was a lot of various reasons why he got fired like he did. But now when you look back at it, he really should have got at least another crack at it. And then it didn't help that Dimitroff, as our GM at the time, wasn't bringing in the right players, for saying drafting, even in free agency. We had signings like, Ray Edwards and O.C. Umenyiora.
Yeah.
And Tyson Jackson.
We can go on and on.
You have the stuff like that. You gave Dante Robinson a lucrative contract, and he caught one pick in 4 years with us. That's just wild. But I mean, like I said, with Smitty was definitely prematurely fired, but I would definitely say he was the better head coach than Quinn. Now, if Quinn would have got a Super Bowl, I would have said Quinn, even though we were trash. But at least I can't say with Smitty, we was always kind of climbing up every year when he first got here. Versus with Quinn, we had that one outlier year in 2016, and we pretty much was just doing a rapid decline year after year after year.
Pretty much.
I don't think Quinn ever recovered from that Super Bowl, man. I really don't.
I think, I don't think so neither. All right.
The one in Seattle or the one in Atlanta?
Atlanta. I don't think he ever came back from it, man.
Yeah.
I think that really hurt him. But also, why did he take control of his team and tell Shanahan to shut the hell up? We're gonna run it 2 more times. We'll get Matt Bryan out there. We're gonna get that trophy.
That's called being passive and not being an alpha male and not taking up and telling your coordinators what they need to do in those type of situations.
Or Don, that's when your defense was ranked 27th, and you supposed to be a defensive-minded coach, and you trying to hide behind this offense. So you don't say nothing to the offensive coordinator. You just let him do his thing.
All right, Mike, go ahead. Who you pick? Smith or Quinn?
I'm not picking either one of them. Why?
Man, you got to pick one, man.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They are absolutely the exact same coach. They are absolutely the exact same coach. Why? Because they hid behind the offense. Smithy did absolutely nothing without Jonathan Abraham. He did absolutely nothing without Tony Gonzalez and Matt Ryan. Absolutely nothing. That defense did not improve, period.
That's not fair, Mike. That's not fair.
How is it not fair? You are judged on your level of expertise. His expertise is defensive line and defense. The defense never improved without Jonathan Abraham. Soon as Jonathan Abraham left, guess what? The defense, even with Johnny Abraham, the defense wasn't that great. It was okay, but the defense was not great at all. So you are judged based on your level of expertise. He hid behind Matt Ryan and that offense for 5 years.
Can I say something?
5 years.
Hold on. King trying to say something. King, go ahead.
Okay.
King.
So when you look at every team needs those players. So you saying, oh, he had John Abraham, okay? But
he did nothing without Johnny Abraham.
I understand.
He did nothing.
But who else was on that defense?
That's the whole point. You're a coach. You're a defensive coach. You gotta find someone.
But that's GM. That's what we were just talking about. That's the GM. They gotta bring in those players.
Still gotta have the defense got worse. Do you guys remember that defense? It got worse. It didn't stay stagnant. It got worse. It got gradually.
Hold on. All right, I get what y'all saying. All right, and this is my pick. I pick Mike Smith as a better coach, but I feel like both of them, and this is the point I was trying, and I thought y'all was gonna pick up on this, but y'all didn't. The common denominator of why both of them failed was Thomas Dimitroff.
I literally said that.
All right. Yeah. All right. I ain't catch you. My bad. I ain't catch you. So here's the thing. We know for years Thomas Dimitroff never invested in the trenches. Not drafted defensive lineman, not drafted offensive lineman, and it pretty much predicated to the lack of success for both Mike Smith and Dan Quinn. Now, I get where you coming from, Mike. Yeah, we had John Abraham as well, but at the same time, man, you drafted Pierre Jerry. You drafted. You brought in Ray Edwards, and we didn't do anything with these guys. And yes, the lack of development. Yeah, you draft these guys. I get it, but the development was never there at all.
Shout out to Chevy Jackson.
That's you can't convince me that Mike Smith had nothing to do with that. I'm sorry, son.
So
but, you can't. Nobody can convince me that he had absolutely no say so in that defense. No one can convince me that he had a say so, and he never got better. He was so infatuated with Mr. Croy Bierman. Okay, he's the guy. He's the guy who's in control of who get playing time and who doesn't. His defense never got better.
Not just Corey Bierman, he was also infatuated with doggone Patrick. What's his name?
Not Decoy. Mr.
Who's the linebacker? I forgot the name of the linebacker.
Kearney, wasn't it? Patrick Kearney?
No, not Patrick Kearney.
Yeah. Lofton.
No.
Lofton was decent. Not
him. I'm trying to think of the name. I'm trying to think of the name.
Warlow.
Yeah, Paul Warlow. Yeah, he was infatuated with Paul Warlow.
Hold on. Warlow, he wasn't okay. He wasn't a bad linebacker. He was okay. He was one of those. he wasn't sideline to sideline. He was downhill. I'm gonna stop the run. He wasn't sideline to sideline. He wasn't that type of linebacker. So Warlow wasn't that bad. He just wasn't the best either.
But that's
we ain't have a front to help him out either.
Exactly.
Yeah, but still, man, but when we got Deion Jones, you can tell our middle linebacker position improved tremendously. It's not even close.
Man. I'm gonna say this. Deion Jones is a good linebacker. Before I say this, Deion Jones is a good linebacker. But him being undersized messes up our run defense.
We definitely have had conversations that he need to be on the outside.
Yeah, he need to be on the outside. And I said this: if you bring in a Don Martindale as a head coach, Deion Jones would not, or Rex Ryan, Deion Jones would not be a middle linebacker on this team. No. They'll move him to the outside and then draft him a middle linebacker.
Why don't they just move Aluakon to the middle? You don't need to. Aluakon is I think Foyer could play good at middle.
Foyer could, yeah. They make
Foyer could.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of people in the chat said, "Go ahead, man."
No, I was just throwing out another random name. Shout out to Chris Owens.
All right. A lot of people in the chat, they said Mike Smith because of the win record, and in the end of the day, you have to win games to make it to the playoffs. If you cannot win any games, you're going to be on the outside looking in. So yeah, a lot of people said Mike Smith. All right, cool. Now, we already mentioned why the coaches failed because of Thomas Dimitroff. Do y'all agree or disagree with that?
Agree.
I would. And I think a lot of it too, Bill Parcells was always famous for saying this. Dan Quinn and Mike Smith, neither one really had a lot of say in who was going to be brought in during the drafts. I think that was very heavily on Thomas Dimitroff and Rich McKay. And Parcells always said, if I'm going to cook the meal, I need to buy the groceries.
Exactly.
So whoever this next coach is needs to get in that war room and kind of press more for the guys that he wants. Because there's a lot of people we passed up that are doing well elsewhere. And I'm like, what the hell were they thinking? Yep. So, and again, the next head coach, and we were talking about this the other night, and after I got done talking with you, I thought about it a little more. I don't care who the next head coach is. Because when you think about it, what is a head coach? He's an administrator and a facilitator and a leader. So he's got to be able to kind of run a business. I want to know who the OCs and DCs. I want to know who the OCs and DCs are going to be. That's
that's also a point as well. But you need to have the head coach that you hiring should have a great philosophy. It should be proven, a proven track record to get results. If you bring in a guy like, let's say, Eric Bieniemy, and I'm gonna jump my notes, okay? Eric Bieniemy. Everybody been sitting up here talking about Eric Bieniemy. All right, this man has done nothing. Nothing. Yes, he won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs last season. I get it. Yeah, another flavor of the month, just like Dan Quinn. Another flavor of the month. It's just on the different side of the ball. All right, and we've been telling you guys that this man is not even calling the plays out there in Kansas City. Now, y'all pause for me for a second, because guess what, you guys? I have footage from one of the shows that I did over a month ago. Well, 2 months ago. All right. And I'm about to play it real quick. I want you to say this louder for the people in the back. I want you to say this louder for the people in the back. Yes, this is what I wanted to hear. This is what I wanted to hear. I want you to say it again. Who's actually the play caller and who's calling the plays?
Yeah, they make it very known that Andy Reid is the one. He's the one thinking up the play. He's the one calling the play. But their system is he relays it to Bieniemy, and then Bieniemy relays it into the quarterback. But yes, Andy Reid is the one calling the plays.
Thank you, because a lot of people been saying, "Oh man, we need to hire." I don't have nothing against Bieniemy. I think he's a great guy. He could turn out to be, I ain't gonna say another Sean Payton, but he hasn't had that experience yet to just call plays on his own. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like, hey, I know Andy Reid. I know him very well. You know,
Yeah.
Andy Reid been doing this for 30-something years. He's not finna give up any type of like power for somebody else.
Heck no.
Thank you. All right, so that was from the episode that I did on the Dunn's Favorite back on October 2nd. That full video is up on our YouTube channel, so anytime you want to go look at it, you can. But the guy had on, he's an expert beat writer for the Kansas City Chiefs. He writes for on Arrowhead Pride. Now, here's the thing, you guys. He said that Airbnb is not calling the plays out there in Kansas City. So,
I mean, Don, you could call plays with Patrick Mahomes and win, man. Patrick Mahomes makes it easy for anybody.
You right about that. But I get what you're saying, but the quarterback still needs guidance. You still need guidance, man. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. If you don't got the right coach out there, man, you're not gonna do well. Go ahead, LaTravis.
Now here's where I'm going to step in at, and this another thing I'm going to add to it, because we've all, like I said, all of us have done our research on this man. Now, people like to think that Kansas City is successful, which they are, but we all know mainly because of what Andy Reid has done, and we've seen him in years past. Let's add the fact that in Bieniemy's coaching career, this man has been surrounded by tremendous talent. Running back coach at UCLA, who was the running back during that time frame, Maurice Jones-Drew, came to the NFL to be the Minnesota Vikings running back coach, who was their running back. A young, fresh-led Adrian Peterson, who ended his prime early. Then he became their assistant head coach, along with still being their running backs coach. But and then fast forward to 2013, he came back to the NFL to be the running backs coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, who at the time had Jamal Charles, which ultimately turned into Kareem Hunt, until he got suspended. When he became the head coach, the offensive coordinator for Kansas City. He ended up getting Damian Williams, and then now Clyde Edwards-Helaire, along with having Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, and Mecole Hardman as your weaponry. Matter of fact, you just signed a 1-year deal with Le'Veon Bell as another weaponry on your offensive coordinator. But what the part I left out at is for 2 seasons in 2011.
I was gonna bring that up. I got it right here for him. LaTravis.
Well, then you take it away. Then take it away.
Right. Now, the only time he had experience outside of Kansas City as an offensive coordinator, when he was the offensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes on the college level. All right, here y'all go. I don't know if y'all can see this. Let me take this doggone comment off. But if y'all can see, this is overall offense from 2011. Colorado was ranked 109th in overall offense that season. All right. 109th. Now, he was only there 2 years. Y'all want to know what happened in 2012? Who want to bet? Did it get better or did it get worse?
Yeah, they got better, didn't they?
Ha! No, they didn't. Let me take this banner off. 120th. 120th. They got worse. But everybody sitting up here saying that they want Eric freaking Bieniemy to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
They were lower ranked than a team school called Southern Mississippi. Where is that at?
Yes. And look, that Colorado team only won one game that season. One game, and then I looked at the games they lost. Like they didn't put up any points. Some games they didn't put up any points at all. Go look it up. Go look up the 2012 Colorado team. It's there for you guys.
They lost to a team called Sacramento State.
Sacramento State, and I'm like, what the world? Like, but here's the thing, guys. I do the research on these coaches for a reason. Because guess what? I'm tired of us bringing in unproven guys who the flavor of the month, and then we get them, and then we might have one good season, and then the wheels fall off after that. Second or third season, like, and we back at square one again. This is why this is why I've been high on guys like Don Martindale, Rex Ryan, Todd Bowles, Matt Eberflus. Those guys are guys we need to bring in. Now, if you want an offensive minded guy, all right, cool. I just did the show on Brian Dable. All right. I did a show on Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee Titans.
So that one win was against Washington State Cougars, and they barely won. They only won by 1 point, 35-34. That is horrible. Good.
Very horrible.
But we also got to remember who called the turnaround play in the Super Bowl. It was Patrick Mahomes. When he came over there, he said, "Hey, how about we run this play?" And that's the play they ran.
And guess what? But hold up. But to continue with that, he wasn't even talking to Bieniemy. He was talking to Andy Reid.
Yeah, because then Bieniemy had to confirm he wants to run Stinger, whatever the play was called. Like, dang, what you doing there?
Not to take anything away from Mahomes' talent, but I think Mahomes has found himself in a very similar situation, such as Tom Brady. You know, Tom Brady, if he doesn't go to the Patriots and have Belichick kind of grooming him, he's not as good. I think if Mahomes goes anywhere else, and because Andy Reid is the Yoda of grooming quarterbacks, you know.
So we've been saying this, man. We've been saying this, man. Andy Reid been coaching for doggone 30 years. Doggone in Green Bay, he had doggone a young, confused doggone Brett Favre that just came from Atlanta drinking in Buckhead. Turn this man into a doggone Hall of Famer.
I'm not sure if he would have been as good as it got to the Super Bowl this fast, but that man, I scouted him coming out of college. I thought he was the best quarterback in the draft anyway, and
Patrick Mahomes, his talent speaks for himself.
Special, like he's been special ever since college.
I mean, so he's special, no doubt about it. He's special. Like he was gonna be successful, but not as successful.
I don't know about the success this fast, but I thought he was the best quarterback in the draft. Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. We seen Andy Reid groom quarterbacks, man. Like Kevin, look at Kevin Cobb, look at Michael Vick. Yeah, Michael Vick was good, but Michael Vick quarterback play was not good at all before he got to Philly. And he got into the hands of
Vick had a slight resurgence in his career in 2010. And that was about it.
That was
Here y'all go with this. I want a young offensive minded coach. I think that Joe Brady is the choice, and we should look at him.
Who is that?
The offense coordinator for the Panthers, Joe Brady.
Yeah, he's LSU.
Yeah.
Then wasn't he there?
I don't think that's possible. I don't think you can get him.
Time out. Wasn't Joe Brady there when they had?
Nobody with Joe Brady. I don't want nobody with Brady anywhere near this team. I'm sorry. No.
All right, but anyway, like we said, man, Rashad, man, welcome back, man. We were talking about Eric Bieniemy, man. What's your take on this, man?
Well, to be honest about Eric B is if you want my honest opinion, I don't want somebody that's unproven. I want somebody that has a resume of, of consistency. That's what I want. To me, and I know a lot of people are just, well, we need this coach, we need that coach. What we really need to pay attention to is who's going to be the general manager. Exactly. Because at the end of the day, the general manager sets the tone for the entire organization. Mm-hmm. And let's give this some thought now. Mm-hmm. When I say we need to look at a general manager, again, he sets the tone and he sets the standard for the organization, because it's all about creating a culture. And 9 times out of 10, the GM is going to want his own guy as the head coach. Think about it. I mean, anytime you see a head coach come in, hey, especially if he's an offensive-minded head coach, he's going to want his guy a quarterback just as much as the general manager is going to want his guy a head coach. I mean, for all we know, let's just say a guy like from Minnesota, the assistant general manager, George Patton, who at one time, a lot of people will forget about this. At one point back in 2015, he was supposed to be the front runner for the Falcons job, but they backed away from it. When you look at Rex Ryan was the front runner for the head coach.
Can y'all? I'm sorry, Rashad. Can y'all stop with this Louis Riddick stuff?
Oh God!
Like this man ain't done nothing. Nothing.
Hey! Remember Dream Team in 2011? How'd that work out?
The Dream
and
Team.
Guess what? Louis Riddick built that team. and we smacked it twice.
We don't need somebody that we need a GM that's college, that has a college centric scouting mind instead of somebody that's going to get all the people in free agency. Because guess what? We don't have no money to sign nobody. So it has to be, if we're going to be successful, we have to build through the draft these next few seasons. So go ahead, Rashad, man. I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, what I was trying to say was that when we're looking for a GM, you're looking for someone that's going to have a vision for our football team, because I've said it before, and I know everybody here on this panel will agree with me on this. The problem for the Falcons is that we have been a finesse team for decades. We've been a finesse team for a very, very long time. Like the only time I could say that we were a physical football team, I could say maybe between 2008 to maybe 2011. And then after that, when the bottom fell out and we let go a lot of players that had that edge to them, you started noticing that people were looking at us like we were the get right team. Like every time we go into a game, I would always hear people that I know that weren't Falcon fans saying like, "Oh, we're facing the Falcons. Oh, they're the get right team. Oh, we have a problem with our team. Oh, we face the Falcons and we right back on schedule." So what I'm trying to say is this: whoever we bring as a general manager, he has to have a plan. He has to have a plan that's going to bring this team back to prominence. Because if you don't have a general manager that doesn't have that vision and doesn't have a goal in mind, then we're going to be back at square one. And two, if he doesn't bring in a head coach that doesn't have that same goal, that same mentality, again, we're going to be at square one. Go ahead.
Can I expand on that just 1 second? Just expand just a little bit. You're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right when it comes down to like having a plan, but most importantly, you can't just have a bland plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be I'm just going to throw the ball. All right. But how are you going to throw? How's the running game? You know, how's the offense? Are you going to be a power scheme? Or are you going to be a zone running scheme? Every year under Thomas Dimitroff, the scheme is fine to build an offensive juggernaut. But if you're going to have an offensive juggernaut, you can't be switching the offensive running, the offensive passing, the offensive scheme every year for the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line scheme every year. Every year is 2 years they want to be a power scheme. The next year they want to go to a zone scheme. Now we back to a power scheme. Got to have a focus. You got to have like a plan, and that's what the Falcons don't have. It's the same thing with the defense. The same thing with not just Dan Quinn, but Mike Smith. It was the same thing. They didn't know if they wanted to be a 3-4 or 4-3. And that's why I said you can't really, outside of the record, like you can't really say that Mike Smith was any better than Dan Quinn. These guys will pretty much mirror of each other. And maybe that is Rich McKay. Maybe that is Thomas Dimitroff's fault. But you have to have a focus.
Here's the thing.
Well, I mean, I agree because
here's the thing. The GM supposed to set the culture for the organization. All right. What style of football are we going to play? All right. You can tell it by the acquisitions you get in the draft and the players you acquire in free agency. The coach finds the identity for the team.
Exactly.
And that's the thing.
Identity.
The coach here. Go ahead.
So, I mean, to kind of expound on that, like that's been the problem for the Falcons as well. Like, who are we as a football team? Like, what's our identity? You know, like I've and Don, I've had this with conversations with you in the past about this. It's like people have always asked me, like, okay, like when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons, like, who are we? Like, who are you? Like, y'all a physical team? Y'all a finesse team? Y'all a power running team? Y'all, I mean, especially offensively, y'all, do y'all run West Coast? Do y'all run vertical? Stuff like that. And that's been the problem with the Falcons. Like, we've been like a question mark. Like
the culture here just hasn't been. The culture hasn't been good, and then the lack of identity just haven't been there.
Let me add to that, because when we played against the Raiders last week, I remember the Falcons page ended up putting up. They had these two quotes. The first, and it was like it was if I'm not mistaken, it was toughness versus flash, grit versus show me. And to me, that said a lot because for us, we were the flash and we were the showman, and that was the problem. That's why we don't have championships because we're not tough. We need that toughness. We need that grit. You need that show enough when you step on the field. When people see your team, they be like, "Man, we played the Falcons this week, but this ain't gonna be no cakewalk. We gotta be ready." You know what I'm saying? But you don't strike fear in people's eyes. It's just like looking at one. You know, a prime example in case of if you look at one of the running backs in today's time right now. When you look at a Derrick Henry, do y'all think defenses don't tremble when they get to the fourth quarter and this man's still running full speed? You get tired of being beat. You get tired of trying to hit this man. Or when people back in the days see Ray Lewis step on the field, that intimidating factor that he brought to the game. Like running backs, they'll run hard. Last week, run for 250 yards, but this week you kind of tiptoeing because 52 on the side of the ball. The Falcons don't have that. We don't have that we don't strike fear in people's heart, and that has to change next year.
It had to change with the coaching, man. We got to get the GM has to figure out which players to bring in, who we need to draft, and this is the problem that we've been having under Thomas Dimitroff. So look, Wendell, man.
The Falcons don't be coming in since 1966.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That's been a story of the franchise.
Yeah. Man, Wendell, come on, man. Like, y'all sitting up, we played past Troy, we ready in the locker room after sweeping y'all. Okay, whatever. Holler at me in January when y'all get swept out of the playoffs for the 4th year in a row.
Man, go tell him to take one of them purposes that damn Sean Payton took. All right, let's tell him take one. Take one of those. That's what he need to do. Worry about that. Yeah, they're worried about you on the Falcons flight.
But thank you for joining the live, though. We appreciate it.
We appreciate the view.
But yeah, I know I keep forgetting your name, man. What's your name again?
Me?
Yeah.
Robert.
Okay, Robert. Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say Rob, but I'm like, okay, is it Rob? Okay,
that's what everybody calls me.
The Giants beat the Seahawks. What's going on with
12 points. Yeah. Russell was in the bad second half.
All right, but listen, Rob, I know we had this conversation on Twitter, and this is why I asked you to come on the show. I remember you said that an offensive minded, I think you said you want an offensive minded coach to come in because we had defensive minded coaches already. And the argument I put up was, well, Dan Quinn and Mike Smith were never proven guys, because you talk about, when we had Dan Quinn before he came to Atlanta, he was a DC for Seattle. The head coach of Seattle is Pete Carroll, a defensive minded coach who's been proven for years. Even at USC, put up top 10 defenses with the Trojans. All right. Mike Smith, before he came to Atlanta, he was at DC in Jacksonville under Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio was a great player when he played in the league. He was a good linebacker.
Nasty linebacker.
Huh? Yeah, he was.
He was nasty.
He was nasty. Yeah, I remember the plays he did. But yeah. So
better have been good with a name like that.
Yeah, but he was under Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio that time when he was in Jacksonville. They had some good years and bad years. And they had good talent on the defensive side of the ball too. People forgot that defense was stout back in 2007. So
I still remember the days of seeing Marcus Stroud and John Henderson. But God, that was
man. John Henderson was that dude. I still remember that video where he had one of the athletic trainers slap him before he got ready for a game. Man, I was like, I still watch it this very day. It's funny, but hey. He had to do what he had to do to get ready for a game.
Yeah, one tackle that was 6'4", probably like 310. The other tackle was like 6'6" at 325. Like, come on, man. Where you running at? Where you running the ball at?
Exactly.
But yeah, like what you said, Don. Just to piggyback off of it, those guys were unproven, but my pick was proven for who I think I should be head coach.
Who?
Rex Ryan. Because when he was with the Jets, those defenses were good. They just didn't have an offense.
They didn't have offense. Yeah,
they didn't have an offense. He don't have that problem.
I don't know how much you're gonna like this pick, but a guy that I keep thinking about for head coach, because all he's ever done in the NFL is win, and you can't deny it. Your boy up in Michigan.
Who?
Harbaugh. That's all he's ever done in the NFL. Hey, that's all he's ever done.
The same coach that said that he was going to start beating Ohio State every single year. The same head coach that promised us that we were going to be in the playoffs by 2017. Man, stop playing with me, man.
But all he's ever done is win in the NFL.
But that San Francisco team was stacked with a lot of talent. It's not much he had to do. That San Francisco team was stacked.
And it was because of Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio was a DC. Look, Vic Fangio came because when Harbaugh was in Stanford, guess who was his DC at Stanford? Vic Fangio. They both came to San Francisco. All right, and let's get credit where credit's due with Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary, he wasn't a good coach out there in San Francisco, but doggone it, he developed some of those defensive players on that team. So when Harbaugh and Vic Fangio got there, they was already developed. All they had to do was elevate those boys.
The defense was already top tier beside Taylor Mays.
Exactly. Yeah. So when he went to Michigan, I was hoping, oh man, we're gonna have Vic Fangio as a DC. But guess what? Michigan does have a good defense. They've been having a good defense. It just they can't score no points at all. And this man cannot develop any quarterback up there in Michigan.
So who's your dream lineup for next season? Head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. Who you want to see in Atlanta?
All right. This if I had my way, if I was hiring, I'll bring in Don Martindale.
That's your head coach.
It's a toss-up between him and Rex Ryan.
Okay, who your OC and DC?
My OC would be Dino Babers. And my DC will be I'll bring in because Vic Fangio end up getting fired. I'll bring him in as a DC.
Yeah, Fangio will get fired, and he gonna end up being a DC somewhere else. So that will be a good fit.
So is Don Martin, because Don Martin and Vic Fangio, they run the same scheme anyway. And they both coach under Rex Ryan. All right. And you bring in Dino Babers from Syracuse. I think that'd be a good lineup right there.
You don't think Riley's ready to make the jump to the NFL as maybe an OC?
Who?
Lincoln Riley.
Man.
Oh no. Not
with the Falcons. Oh no. No sir. Look.
No.
No. I'm good.
Gotta give him that to Kimby for that. No.
What do y'all mean y'all want somebody new? Somebody new what? Like, who y'all talking about? Don Martindale hasn't been a coach yet, so that's new right there.
I just don't know what kind of leader he is. I don't know is he a good facilitator? Is he a good motivator? I don't know those.
I got two videos for you. All right. And remind me at the end of this show to send them to you. I did 2 episodes on Don Martindale last year. I brought on the beat writer for the Baltimore Ravens, and I brought on a former NFL player that was coached under Don Martindale. And they'll tell you everything you need to know about this guy. When we talking about leader among men and what Arthur Blank wants this team to be, Don Martindale is your guy. And like I said, Rex Ryan is your guy as well. And if you want, if either of those guys available, you can't go wrong with Matt Eberflus.
That's Indianapolis.
Don't forget about Navarro Bowman or Jonathan Foskey. I'm reading the comment. My bad.
I still want to go back to Matt LaFleur, man. We had him in Atlanta. We had him. He should be our offensive coordinator right now, I think.
I mean, I agree with you.
He's a head coach in Green Bay.
Can I come out and say that would I be kind of like stepping out on a limb if I said like we really kind of like prematurely fired Sarkisian?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Here's my thing. No. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I feel like after that 2018 season, somebody had to be the scapegoat. He was a scapegoat. You have to blame somebody or for you to keep your job. So they threw Sarkisian under the bus.
You can't say that because we still wasn't able to score in the red zone.
We actually did score in the red zone that year. After that first game, we actually was decent.
Our defense was trash.
Wasn't that the same year we lost to Philly? Because we couldn't.
That was 17. That was 17.
18. It got a little better. 18. The red zone did get a little better though in 18. But they
was expecting that to be Kyle Shanahan's offense, and that, like I said, his offense wasn't that bad. It actually was quite successful as far as the numbers are concerned. Like Matt Ryan had equally, if not better, numbers under Sark than he did under Dirk Cutter. So it's like they expected him to be Kyle Shanahan, and anytime you have those expectations, because that was a historic offense, and anybody who came in after Kyle Shanahan would have gotten the action. That's just my opinion. I thought Matt LaFleur would have gotten the action. He would have been probably worse than Sark. I think his offense would have been worse than Sark. But like I said, I thought anybody who would have become the offensive coordinator that year would have failed. He would have been out.
There's no way you're gonna match that type of success.
It's been well reported though that Cutter's just running Shanahan's offense. With a few,
but I think that's what's wrong with everybody right now. That's what's wrong with everybody's mindset because everybody want to see that 16 offense, and people got to realize like
that's not coming.
There's a reason why. Not only that, there's a reason why people have tape for a reason. Every team in the league gonna do everything they possibly can to keep you from replicating what you did that season. So you have to.
Offense hasn't been Kyle Shanahan that 16 offense. So why we expect our offense to get that? Why we expect our offense to get?
I mean, Colin Coward came out and said that he expected Jimmy G to have that Matt Ryan jump the MVP this season. You see how well that's working out.
Man, Colin Coward's on crack, man.
I'm saying that because like for number one, we already know that was just a dumb take in for one. Jimmy G is not Matt Ryan. He don't even have Matt Ryan talent. Two, like that goes to show you like it's not the same. Matt was already proven before Shanahan got there. People always tend to forget that Matt worst statistical season as a quarterback in the NFL was under Shanahan. So do people give him that much credit to say, oh, he made Matt Ryan an MVP? I'm like, y'all do realize that Shanahan was known as a QB killer prior. Oh, and by the way, every OC that coached Matt Ryan went on become head coaches. Mark Malarkey became a head coach. Derek Cutter became a head coach. Shanahan became a head coach. Hell, even when we came back and was 4-4 after the beat in Washington in 18, there was articles talking about Sarkisian was a candidate to be the next head coach for a team in the NFL. So, but I digress. But y'all got it.
People forget about the 2015 season as well. Like that was one of Matt Ryan's worst statistical years in the NFL, and that was under doggone Kyle Shanahan. But but here's my take on this, you guys. All right, and we talk about teams have tape. I'm tired. Look, I'd rather just get rid of the West Coast offense and just run something new, run something innovative that the league has not caught on to yet. And this is why I've been high on Dino Babers coming to the NFL and running that veer and shoot offense. It's just going to be very similar to what happened in the early 2000s when guys like Jim Harbaugh and those guys came in the NFL and wanted to run that triple option. A lot of teams had a hard time catching on to it, but they caught on to it, though. It took them a while to catch on to it. But you bring that type of offense to the NFL, guess what? Teams ain't got tape on that. It's going to take them a while to catch on. It's going to take them a while to actually draft the defensive players and bring them to the NFL to stop that. So this is why I've been saying, let's scrap everything we know, everything we've been doing, and figure out a new identity for this team.
One guy I keep going back to, and I don't think he would make a lateral move. I think if he's going to leave Buffalo, it's going to be for a head coach position. And the only reason why I like him is because he has played under Saban or coached under Saban. He has coached under Belichick, and that's Brian Daboll. And I'm just hoping and wondering, maybe does he have the ability like Belichick to take a player that's really not that good, find his strengths and play to it? That's what I think we need in Atlanta, or more coaches.
He done that with Josh Allen. He done that with Josh Allen. He developed Josh Allen.
100%.
I just did a show. I just did a show today on Brian Dable. Go back and check on it.
I saw your tweet.
Yeah. I did a show this morning on it. Go back and check. Go back and watch it when you get a chance. It's on the YouTube.
He's the one that makes my eyes light up the most, I guess, because maybe he does know how to play the player's strengths. Because how many players have you seen go through New England that you didn't even know who the hell they were? Mm-hmm. And then they get under Belichick. Belichick finds that one thing they're good at and just uses it. And then they leave New England. And they leave New England and you never hear from them again. You know?
Jamie Collins.
They ain't no number catching 5 yard routes anyway.
That don't count. He got sent to the Browns overnight.
Bull crap. Because let me tell you something. When that man played for New England, doggone, and this I'm kind of being serious. I'm kind of half joking. Dude, overall on Madden was like in the 90s, and then he go play for somewhere else and drop down to like 75. That says a lot.
It's because he went to the Browns.
All right.
The Browns are 9-3 now.
I mean, he did say, when his contract was coming out, he said, I want Von Miller money, and Bill Belichick was like, no, but we're gonna trade you. No, we don't want that. We're gonna trade you to Cleveland and keep moving.
But that was stupid on his part, because why would you tell him you want Von Miller more money after you watch him trade Chandler Jones?
Yeah.
That was just doubling your part.
What's another coach you think you like?
Wasn't that the season?
What'd you say, King?
Which one?
Speaking on Jamie Collins, wasn't that the season the Patriots were 8-0 and the Browns were 0-8?
Mm-hmm. And his and he said he wanted more money, and the front office got wind of that and said, "Oh, okay, we're going to trade you because that's not how we roll here in New England."
Pretty much.
Of course they don't. They had Deion Branch coming fresh off a Super Bowl MVP game in 2004. And I guess he thought he was going to get a lucrative contract to be a Patriot. It was like, deuces, player.
Anyway, Rob, what's another coach you like, man?
Yeah, man, at this point, man, I don't even know anymore. I don't know who I want. Don Martindale is one I've heard a lot and that I like. And I guess it just depends on what the coaching pool looks like when the season's over, because there's guys that are going to get fired. There's going to be guys that we can't even talk to right now. Who's a guy out in San Francisco?
You talking about Robert Saleh?
No.
Saleh.
He's
Rob
one.
Saleh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's the guy that gets getting brought up.
Talking about the ball guy that looks like Dan Quinn?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the guy that keeps getting brought up, though.
He looked too much like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna block that like Matumbo. No.
I don't think we need to go get anybody from the college ranks, but they're going to do it. They're going to rattle off the same old names. They do every year.
What we should do, we should tank the rest of the season. We should get the first round pick. We should get the first overall pick. Then we're gonna trade to get the second overall pick. We're gonna draft Trevor Lawrence first and Justin Fields second. And we're gonna bring in Kirby Smart to have them battle out for the head coach for the number one QB position.
Better yet, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna hire Louis Riddick as our GM. We're gonna hire Aaron as our head coach. We're gonna keep Raheem Morris as our DC, and we're gonna bring in Mike Vick as our offense coordinator.
Chill.
That's gonna definitely lead us to a Super Bowl right there. Definitely gonna lead us to a Super Bowl.
Only on Madden.
I'll tell you who you're Don. I'll tell you who your GM. I'll tell you who you want. If you want a guy who's got his kind of finger on the pulse of the college pipeline, and he's done a really good job over the years. He's doing it with the Bears right now. It's Champ Kelly.
Oh yeah,
he's good. But here's the person I like though. This is the person I like. I like Joe Hortitz out of Baltimore. He's been there since '99. Been there with Ozzie Newsome. He's been a college scouter since then. And you look at all the players they drafted.
Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed, Lola Nada.
Actually,
I like how all those were defense.
but hey, we already got the offense, so we good. But
yeah,
also,
like how those were defense.
if that's too, because some people don't know him like that. Another person I like is Jeff Ireland.
Yeah,
I've heard that name.
Yeah, Jeff
Falcons got to look for another O-line coach. That's for damn sure. Because we got all the toys.
Where
is Mike Tice at? Please bring him back.
I hate Chris Morgan, man.
Chris Morgan is not terrible. He's supposed to be the running game coordinator. He's probably worse than Dane Cutter. Like he is the running game coordinator.
I told y'all about Chris Morgan, but I've been telling y'all. I told y'all Chris Morgan is not a good coach. When everybody from that Kyle Shanahan staff left, and Kyle Shanahan brought them guys over there with him to San Francisco, why did they leave Chris Morgan? They should tell you everything you need to know. Yeah, if you're a coordinator, normally say if Don Martindale come here to Atlanta, he gonna bring something. He gonna try to find a place for some of his guys to hit in Atlanta. He ain't gonna bring everybody. He gonna bring some people that he know that's gonna come over here and get the job done.
Same thing what Rex Ryan did when he went to New York when he had to leave Baltimore. I mean, he took Bart Scott and then Jim Leonard with him.
Mm. But to kind of go back on what you said about Jeff Ireland, I've done a lot of research with Jeff Ireland. He was at one point he was with the Miami front office. But a lot of people don't give him a lot of credit when he came.
I know that man ain't say Marvin Lewis. I know that coming ain't say Marvin Lewis. I know that coming ain't say Marvin Lewis.
Let me stop.
I know that coming.
Let me stop. What about you think Marvin would take a DC role?
Yeah.
I know that
defense. But he can still coach defense.
Yeah, he still defense, but as a head coach, absolutely not. No. When you're 0-7 in the playoffs, absolutely not. With the talent that you had with Cincinnati, no. But to go back with Jeff Ireland, a lot of people don't know when he went to the Saints, a lot of the guys that he had a hand in drafting, he helped draft Marcus Lattimore. He helped draft Alvin Kamara. He helped draft I think it was the offensive tackle Ryan Ramczyk. There's a lot of the reason why the Saints defense look as good as it is right now is because of Jeff Ireland.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know that.
I think the guy getting the most press for GM is Rick Smith out of Houston. He's not in Houston anymore. He left when his wife got sick, but he drafted Watt. He drafted Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, but like he hit on most of them first round picks. But if you start looking at them day 2, day 3 picks, like
iffy. But
that's the thing, man. We need a
GM that's gonna hit every day. We need day 1, 2, and 3 be slam at least decent shots.
If you can hit on 60% or more of your picks, you good. You done your job as a GM because the draft is already a crapshoot.
I want somebody that'll get over the damn aversion to drafting Georgia players because we missed out on a lot of good Georgia players.
Oh man, come on, man.
So with. I don't want to do it no more.
I kind of agree with it.
I mean, there's been some good Georgia players we could have had that we missed.
Hold on. Do you agree?
We're not talking superstars. We're just talking about just players.
I get it. But do you hold on, Rob? Do you feel like we should have drafted Jake Fromm last year?
Hell no.
All right, good. Okay, we good then.
No.
We can continue talking football.
Hey, but what you mean? Hold on, you must be tripping, boy. That's a guy you can take home and meet it to your girlfriend's father, and they can meet and stuff.
Jake Fromm is trash.
Hey, taking it home to meet girlfriends don't win football games though.
Jake Fromm is
trash. Hey, Robert, it's an inside joke. He is the reason why Don laughing.
But I'll tell you this: Kirby Smart made the mistake of keeping that fool. If he keeps Justin Fields, Georgia's got one of these right now.
Oh Lord Jesus! Please don't get Mike started. Please don't get Mike started. Please don't get Mike started.
Is Rob lying though? He's not
Justin
lying.
Fields would have brought Georgia a national title. I'm just telling you. I believe it 100%.
Let's just leave that alone.
We can say that for another day.
Y'all getting Brock Vandagriff, so I think he's going to be great. So
if Kirby don't mess it up,
Kirby don't mess it up.
We still got what's the other kid back?
No, you still got JT Daniels and the other kid.
Go ahead.
Beck. I think we still got Carson Beck. We got Vandagriff, but I feel like if I think we still have JT Daniels for about another year or so. Or
he's a redshirt sophomore.
It doesn't matter. That none of that matters. It doesn't matter the talent that we get it. All right, it doesn't matter the talent that you get it. It all comes down to what it only come down to this. Everybody understands that offense. Even your boys, like he's Nick Saban. Nick Saban understands that defense no longer is behind the 8 ball right now. Everybody understands that except for Kirby. He still want to run that ancient ass offense, and it does not work anymore. All right, this is why Nick Saban is the greatest. I'm just going to be real. He's the greatest damn college coach I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Why? Because he understands trend, and he doesn't sit in the same damn offense because he's too freaking stubborn to do something different.
He
done got this man started.
All right. Yeah. We just moved from Falcons, and now we're talking about the Bulldogs. Let's go ahead and end this thing. All right. Well, look, everybody listening, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We're gonna go ahead and do one more go around on, what y'all think about.
Oh, we ain't protecting Matt Ryan. We ain't protecting Matt Ryan the name today.
Man, look, man.
I know
people gonna say some stupid stuff about Matt Ryan, but like Raheem Morris, man, let's go another round. Just me. He's not getting an interview. So I'm done with that.
Let me just start with Raheem. All right, I'm sorry. I got to start first on this. All right, I'm just gonna say this, and I'm say this, and it's gonna be pretty quick. I think he's just a coward, man, masquerading as a tough guy.
God, those some harsh words right there, boy. Those some harsh words right there.
And I'm gonna give you the reason why I'm saying this. The reason why I'm saying this is because you're blaming Matt Ryan. You're blaming Julio. You're blaming everybody on the offense, defensive side of the ball, except for Dirk Cutter. Dirk Cutter absolutely. He hasn't blamed Dirk Cutter not one time. He hasn't blamed.
Let me see. Let me show y'all something. Guess who just followed me?
Oh, hey, there you go.
Brian Dable.
Oh, wow.
Look.
I'm telling you, the coach scouting thing's working, man.
That might be a sign of things to come.
Yeah, you talk about him so much.
I talk about Doug. I'm waiting on Doug Martin there to follow me, man.
But yeah, that's essentially what I mean, man. I think he's just a damn coward masquerading as a damn tough guy because he's blaming everybody except for his coaches, and that's what we don't need in Atlanta anymore. We've seen Mike Smith do the same thing with as terrible as what's his name? Mike. What's the name?
Nolan. Was it Mike Nolan? Or the other
Mike
guy?
Nolan. He did the same thing with Mike Nolan. It's a coward. Like, I don't care about all these damn coaching fraternity. All right. If the guy is a terrible coach, call his ass out, fire him. That's the problem in Atlanta. The damn coaches are too damn cowardly to call out their mates. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. That's what got Dan Quinn fired. This is what's going to get Raheem Morris pretty much out of any head coaching position because he is too cowardly to call out. One thing I say about Bill Belichick, he don't give a damn who you are. He don't give a damn who you are. If you're not coaching, doing a good job coaching, he getting rid of your ass. And that's all I got to say about that.
Hell, not only coaching. Even if you ain't performing well, we don't see Belichick and Brady on the sideline, damn, just arguing.
Go back to the Super Bowl that they lost against the Eagles. All right, Malcolm Butler. They ain't even played this man at all. He missed curfew. That man said, "You know what? We either go win or lose this game without this man. We don't care." And shipped this man off to Tennessee the next season.
Accountability, baby. Accountability. It's all kind of come down to accountability, man. We can't have these weak ass head coaches that's afraid to really go at the people who are at like this is the reason why we're losing, because the offense absolutely sucks right now. That's it.
Exactly.
And he's calling the same bull crap every game. And Raheem never says anything. Raheem never says anything to Dirk Cutter whatsoever. He's blaming everybody except for Raheem, except for Dirk Cutter. That's it. He needs to go.
Let me ask you this, Mike. If he fired Dirk Cutter tomorrow, make you feel better?
Hell no. It's too late.
We 0-2 against the Saints this season. We 0-2 against the Saints this season, man. Like it's a done deal. It's a wrap.
I mean, I understand the Saints are heated rivalry, but why are we so focused on because we being 0-2 against the Saints this year? Like, it ain't even the Saints to me. It's the fact that just losing games that was definitely winnable. That's my biggest issue.
Yeah, that is the biggest issue. But at this point, we knew this season is a wash anyway. Now, I'm not tanking. We're not tanking, but they didn't make forth the effort at all to try to win some meaningful games. This was a meaningful game today. They should have won this, and
they could have won if they had better play calling.
Exactly.
You want to know the worst thing that I hated the most about this game today? Is it Taysom Hill hadn't thrown a touchdown since he was at BYU, and he threw 2 today.
I almost punched the TV when I saw that. I really almost punched.
We talking about the same BYU that lost to Coastal Carolina. Oh my goodness, man!
But yeah, hadn't thrown a touchdown ever had a quarterback? Has BYU ever had a quarterback, a real quarterback? Like seriously, have they ever had it?
Yeah, they had Steve Young.
Jim McMahon.
Yeah, they had good quarterbacks back in the day.
I'm not talking about 15,000 years ago. I'm talking about recently, man.
Oh no, man!
I don't count, man.
Listen, bro, I'd be surprised when I see BYU ranked top 15th in the nation sometimes. knowing good and well next week on Thursday night they're gonna lose to Arizona State.
Hey, man,
when y'all laughing, y'all gotta understand it's a tradition. It's a tradition when it comes to the Pac-12, man. It's a tradition. Until you get a red high rank, all you gotta do is watch that Thursday night game and watch them play some low ranking or unranked team and watch them get upset. It never fails.
Colorado State they lose to whatever. Like, okay, yeah, that's why I don't watch.
They'll beat Stanford, who were ranked like 5th in the nation, and then you'll lose the Maybach State out of Nevada for no reason. Like, come on, bro.
So, y'all. But like RIP to Raheem the Dream here in Atlanta. Like, it's good knowing you, but hey,
quit saying that bull.
I had to say it one more time. I ain't never said it, but I'm just saying to these fans because they Raheem the Dream. Every time I hear the Dream, one thing I want to say is doggone, I love your girl. Shot right there's a 10 in the falsetto. Quit that mess.
Well, I mean, personally, to me, he lost the job. I mean, he lost the interview for the job when he lost the Lions game. I know everybody wants to talk about, the Saints and everything, but to me, he lost it after the Lions game.
But I said
I said that too.
But you know what? I said that too. But you know what though? We lost. Look, the same way we won games under Raheem Morris is the same way we won games under Dan Quinn. The same way we lost games under Dan Quinn is the same way we lost games under Raheem Morris. Therefore, guess what? He has to go. Because look, the games we won outside of the Raiders game, okay? Outside of that Raiders game, that was the only dominant game we won this season. But you look at those other games we played, we won against Carolina, Minnesota. Minnesota almost came back. Denver almost came back and won. I'm like, yeah.
I ain't gonna say Denver. I ain't gonna say Minnesota almost came. I think we kind of handled that game pretty handily, but definitely Carolina and Denver. Yeah.
I just like I said, man. Like it's time for a new voice here in Atlanta. I'm just ready. I'm ready. We're gonna go
new attitude, man. That's what it is. New attitude. That's all we need.
New attitude. All right, Rob, man. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey, man. Anytime. We'll try to get you on Tuesday on ours, man.
All right, well, we'll chop it up, and then if I'm not available, Aaron, King, he's available as well. Anytime, man. We can hop on, both of us and one of us, man. Everybody, my hometown supporters, for GSHM and FILA Sports, appreciate y'all coming on. I guess y'all ain't gonna say nothing.
I mean, you can find me on Twitter at wordplay_kid, 26. You know what I'm saying? Singing the dream. Usually you won't see me hating. I'll do with y'all.
All right. So, all right. Check out my coach scouting report, you guys. I know this show was pretty much talking about coaching. Look, I don't know how many coach scouting reports I done so far. Look, it's other people, other Falcons content creators that done them. Guess what? They ain't doing them like me. They probably doing 10, 12 minutes worth of college scout. It's not even college scout. They're just talking about the person and giving their own opinion. They're not bringing anybody on who got credentials, who talk to these coaches in press conferences and anything like that. You're only going to find that content where? Here on FILA Sports Podcast with your boy The Dunn. So
I'll say one last thing, man. This is my first season covering the Falcons. We got hired out of a company out of LA called Believe.com. Falcons Flight, man. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, yada, yada, yada. I guess the last thing I want to say is, and I say this a lot on our podcast, is I'm going to challenge the fans in Atlanta because we have some of the most negative, just sometimes, I mean, there's some great supportive fans. I mean, I'm diehard. There's some real diehard people, man, but some of y'all got to straighten up your act, man. Some of y'all are the biggest fair weather crybabies I've ever seen. And I wonder, and I'm going to leave you with this to think
about. Y'all should be embarrassed. This man just started covering the Falcons and he already done. Good God almighty, boy. Y'all.
No, I've been a fan for a long time. I've been in Atlanta my whole life. I mean, I was born in 78, so I've been around a while, but I'm just new to broadcasting and covering them. But here's something I want to leave you with to think about. Do you think that when players or coaches get approached about coming to Atlanta to work, they think about how bad the fan base will trash them and how unsupportive they can be at times, and that sways their decision? Because I swear to God, it does, man.
It does.
I swear to God,
it does. You know what? You're not lying, and it ain't just Falcons. It's everybody. The city, period.
Well, I'm saying, man, get behind your team a little better and stop the fair weather bullshit, man.
Well,
you die with your team. You die with your team. 0-16 or 16-0. It don't matter.
Put that man on the altar.
Yeah,
said like that. I got $10. I got $10 put on the time plate right now.
The kind of expound on that, man. It's like a lot of fans in the city don't understand. A lot of players live in Atlanta. They live here. They don't play here, but they live here. And one thing fans have to understand: players talk. They talk. They talk. They talk amongst each other. It's not just with it's not just with NFL players. You have baseball players, NBA players. All of them talk amongst each other, and I bet you a lot of them say, "Hey, is it cool to play in Atlanta?" And be like, "Nah, man, them fans are toxic. Don't play there."
They'll add you on Twitter and tell you and send death threats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I challenge everybody every week, man. Get it together. Be better fans. Be more supportive. Be there for your team. One week, Julio has a great game. The next week he doesn't. Oh, get him out of here, man. He's done. He's over. Then he has a great game. Oh, Julio's the man. It's every week. You're up and down.
Imagine what they say about Matt Ryan every week.
Don't get me started on Matt Ryan. We got a first ballot Hall of Famer taking snaps for the Falcons, and nobody appreciates it. Nobody. Matt Ryan has been good despite the Falcons.
That is true.
Exactly.
Hall of Fame.
You know?
Exactly.
And let me add to this. I hate the Cowboys. I hate them with a passion, more so than how I hate people. Y'all hate the Saints. That's where my passion and hate is for the Cowboys. But one thing I can say about their fan base: win, lose, or draw, even though they'll tell you they want Mike McCarthy fired in the next 20 minutes, doggone, like at least they gonna support their team. As obnoxious that they gonna support. It's still gonna be doggone. We them boys every week.
Exactly.
And every year. Next year we going to the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna let y'all have it and get out of here after this. But somebody on Twitter today did say that Julio was done, and I was like, "Shut up, man! He's 31. Shut up! He's just getting started." But
I heard the same about Matt Ryan.
There's an old 80s song, and people are going to be singing this when Matt Ryan is gone. It says, "You don't know what you got till it's gone."
Exactly.
Good luck finding another Matt Ryan. Everybody keeps saying Mac Jones at 10 for the Falcons. I hate that. I don't like that.
I like Sam Howell. Yeah. That's going to be our quarterback. Sam Howell, UNC.
Man, no.
In the show.
Sam Howell.
All right. So appreciate everybody who watched the show live, man. Appreciate y'all joining us live. If you're watching this at a later time, hit us up in the comment section what you think about the show, what you think about the former coaches we had. Do you still have that same mindset that you just want an offensive-minded coach, or you want Eric Bieniemy here? Like, guys, if y'all watching this show and y'all agree with what we said about Eric Bieniemy, share this out to these dumb people who keep talking about Eric Bieniemy. Like, send them to me. Send them to look at the man called Dunn at them, at me. All right, and tell them to come see about me. And I'm gonna sit them down myself personally, and I'm gonna tell them how dumb they are by wanting to get somebody that's unproven. All right. So I'm done on that topic. But hey, if you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button. Share this content out with Atlanta Sports Fanatics. And hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. It's your boy, The Dunn, with my co-host, King. Y'all have a great evening. We should be back. Let's see. We'll be back Wednesday with another Rivalry Week show, but throughout the week we'll be dropping our own shows. Look out for King Graham of ATL. He's gonna be doing his own little thing for FILA Sports. Hey, we're doing great things over here, you guys. So stay tuned. On that note, y'all have a great night. I'm going to bed.
Love yourself always. Always love yourself.
Appreciate it, guys. It was fun.
All right, fellas.
Take care, Atlanta.